Everybody, this is Ryan. We are going over Going on a Bear Hunt, the Kaboomers version. There's a lot that we can get out of this song, especially as it relates to our strumming hand, being able to play bass lines and sing at the same time, and being able to play guitar while talking at the same time. So let me just play through what I'm going to show y'all. We're going on a bear hunt. I've got my binoculars. I'm not scared. Look at that tall, wavy grass. So there's quite a lot that we can do with this. Obviously, you don't have to play all the bass lines. You can just play the chords, all that kind of stuff. But playing it helps us grow on guitar, and it just makes it more authentic to what the kids hear whenever they listen to this song. And it kind of reflects some of the movements that happen. You know, I'm not scared. It matches what we're saying with our voice, so it helps encourage them to maybe sing along with us as well, because we're playing what we're singing. So we're going to break this down into the intro. We're going to practice that. Then we're going to break this down into these verses where we're going to do a strum pattern. And then we're going to look at this bass line section here. So let's start with the verses, the intro. So we have this lamenting bass line that goes like this. And so there's two different ways to play this. Whenever you play bass lines, you can play them with your thumb. But the problem with playing it with your thumb is that it may not have the energy that we typically want whenever we are engaging with kids in this kind of way. So you can play it loud, but then it gives you a really like snappy kind of strident sound that might not be what your kids like. So what you can do is this. And you can pretend to hold your fingers like a pick, and then you can use funk guitar string muting with your fretting hand to be able to go across multiple strings without them ringing out. So I'll show you that. And then another way that you can do it is by just doing thumb strumming. But that's probably one of my least favorite ways to play this kind of bass line. So let me show this to you. We're going to start by pinching our fingers as though we're holding a pick, and we're doing all downstrokes for everything. Whenever we play the 7th fret on the A string, we want to play it that with either our ring finger or our pinky, but what's really important is that we want the other fingers that are behind this finger to lightly touch and lay across these other strings. So just try this with me. So I'm going across all the strings, but only one string is ringing out. So that's how we play the 7th fret. Then when we move to the 5th fret, what we want is to be on the pad of our finger rather than on the tip of our finger. Because when we're on the pad, we can use the tip of the finger to mute the low E string, and then we can lightly touch the rest of the strings by just lightly touching them, not barring, just lightly touching them with the flesh here. So let's try this. Again, I'm hitting very many strings, but only a couple of these strings, only this D note is ringing out. So now let's practice playing these two notes together like this. Go ahead and join me. You can also keep your pointer finger held down the entire time that you're playing it, instead of doing like this, where your pointer finger is hopping. It might be a good idea just to have the pointer finger held down the entire time. Next, we're going to use the pinky to play the 8th fret on the low E. This can be a bit of a stretch going from here to here. I typically will have my thumb wrapped around as I'm playing. So I don't mind doing like a little shift from this position to this position so I can grab this note. What you can also do is if you play more classically and your thumb is kind of not up here, but it's more down here, the more down your thumb is on the neck, the further reach you can have with your fingers to reach these notes. It just feels a lot more comfortable, and I'm used to having my thumb up like this. So I'm comfortable doing that. So to play this note, we're going to play with our pinky, and then the other fingers are just lightly touching the rest of the strings on the way down. So just practice this note real quick. Going across many strings, but only one's ringing out. And then while we're at it, we're going to use the ring finger to play the 7th fret on the low E string. And it's the same thing, where all, the first finger primarily is the one that's laying across the strings to mute them. Now, some of you may be wondering why I'm not playing it this way. Because these are the same notes. The reason why is because of the string muting and because of the power that I want to include when I'm playing this riff. If I try playing it the same way, it makes it a lot more complicated when I have an open D string right here. Because to mute that string, I have to wrap my thumb around to mute these two strings, and then my first finger has to mute these strings. So it's a little bit more complicated to get that sound. But if you were playing it with your thumb, then you could do something like that, and that would work out fine. So that's how you play basically the first 2 bars. Let's just walk through and loop this over and over again. Nice and slow like this. Here we go. And then I use my ring finger to hop up to that 7th fret on the A string. And now let's look at this last bar right here. Sounds like this. So what we're doing there is we play the 7th fret as we have before. Then we have like that. So let's try it very slowly, like this. 1 and triplet 3 and 4 and here we go. 1 and 2 la li 3 and 4 and one more time. Here we go. 1 and 2 la mi 3 and 4 and. So anytime that you have a triplet like this, you can just use whatever stroke is available to hit the note above. It'd be kind of awkward to do a downstroke right there, in my opinion. But you can do that if you want to. So anyway, this is how we play the intro to Going on a Bear Hunt, and I'll see you in the practice video.